to Piano School Publishing's Video Tutorials Online. Today we're doing page 88 and 89 of the elementary book, and we're learning about the new sharp sign and G major scale. Alrighty, so let's get started. This sign is a sharp sign. So today it's often recognized as a hashtag, but it's been a sharp sign I think longer than it has been a hashtag. So what this sign is placed in front of notes, and it tells us instead of playing that note, you have to play the note immediately above it. So here's an example down here. There's a C, and you've got a sharp sign directly in front of it. So what that means is we don't play C, we actually play the black note above C, and that note is called C sharp. So there's the sharp sign before the C. It tells us to play the black note above C, and that note is called C sharp. So here's C sharp on the keyboard. Up there. C sharp has no relationship to C. So they're not, kindred notes or something, they're just next to together. C and C sharp have no more connection than C and B or C and D. It's just the way the keyboard developed that the sort of sharps probably happened a little bit later, so that's why we ended up with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then afterwards we've added in these sharps. The next example over there is D sharp. So if we just go to the D, play the very next note up, and that note is called D sharp. Now sharps aren't always black notes. They can sometimes be white notes, because it just means play the very next note up. Doesn't mean if it's black or white, just means play the very next note up. So for example with E, the very next note above E is F. So that F can also be called E sharp. So if someone said where's E sharp, you would play F. There's F sharp, there's G sharp, there's A sharp, and here's B sharp, which is called C. So C and B sharp are essentially the same note. Now, for now, we just need to know that's possible. It doesn't affect us in any way. Later on, when you get more advanced, you'll start to understand why we might call F and E sharp, or why we might call C a B sharp instead of calling it C. But for now, we don't need to worry about that. Alrighty, so, I just want to make sure I've got that all covered over there. Yes, so you've got some questions down there to name those notes, and just get familiar, just start identifying those notes on the piano keyboard. Okay, now the interesting thing is that we say C sharp, but we always must remember to put the sharp before the C. The sharp must always be written before the C on the music, but when we write, for example, D sharp, we say D sharp. So that's just the way things have worked out. Okay, G major scale. So when we learnt C scale is the only major scale that doesn't have any black notes in it. And now we're going to learn G scale, and G scale has one black note in it. So G scale has an F sharp in it. And I'm going to play G scale. It runs from G to G. It uses exactly the same fingering as C scale. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just have to remember to play the F sharp instead of the F. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. If you've mastered C scale with the fingering, you won't find G scale very challenging. You've just got to remind yourself to put that F sharp. If you don't put the F sharp in, it sounds odd. So hopefully your ear will pick that up if you forget to put that in. So start practicing the G major scale. One extra thing we have to learn is this thing here is called a key signature. Okay, so so far all the songs that we've written have been in the key of C major, which means they have no sharps or flats in them. Now that we know G scale, we can start to play songs in the key of G major. So if you are going to play a song that's based on the G scale, it's much more likely that you're going to play lots of F sharps and pretty much no Fs. So what they do to compensate for that is we can put a sharp on the 5th line of the treble clef, because that's the F line, and we can put a sharp on the 4th line of the bass clef, because that's the F line. And that tells us in that song, if you'll see it on every single line at the start, there'll be a sharp sign on the 5th line treble, 4th line bass, that every F in that piece is automatically F sharp, because it's in the key of G major. All right. Again, this is something that we'll follow up later on, but for now, it's just something interesting to know. And if you're looking at any other music around and you see them, these sharps at the beginning of the lines, that's what they mean. So what I'd like you to do is start practicing the G scale, and just remember, it actually points it out here, remember these notes are F sharp, so don't forget to add your F sharps in there. Okay, off you go and do some work.